My friends, back home in sweet Trinidad and Tobago, we are the most happiest people and we don't know. Only, I could only vouch where I come from for what I experienced, but only in Trinidad, you could be cooking and you put on the fire and you turn in and you realize, oh shucks, I ain't had no salt. And you call your child and you say, go and tell the neighbor to give me some salt. Go and ask she for some salt for me. And your child will go, quick, neighbor, mommy said to get you some salt, please. Till she make a roastery. And the neighbor, no problem, will give the child some salt. And if while they're cooking and they realize that the ketchup done by them, whether they remember or not, they send the child, could be by the same neighbor or by the other one next door. And the child coming back, yes, with some ketchup. In America, my child, my friends, my people, if you're going and cook, or if you start to cook and you realize you don't have one of the ingredients, especially one of the main ingredients, either you forget about cooking that food, you turn off the stove, and you go get your stuff. Because you ain't going. The thing is, sometimes you don't even know your neighbor. You might see people going in, because the time according to your work schedule and your neighbor schedule, you might never see a neighbor, stranger, but it's a fact. So you can't go and knock on your neighbor door and say, I could get some salt. They will say, number one, you mad. Number two, they might not even know you. Who are you? Yeah. So in Trinidad, we have it real good. You could ask them for something, a main ingredient. The neighbors back home, the fruit trees, when they pick, they call you and say, come and get some lime now, pimento, orange, some shadow benny. Here, you don't have anything, you do without it, or you go get it yourself. If you're living far from the grocery, you better stock up, because if you're cooking a pot and you realize, because sometimes, people just buy salt. We don't use salt, really don't use salt because all the seasoning has salt, but sometimes you need a little bit of salt. And because you buy a box of salt in January and in December, you tell yourself that's salt, you're supposed to have salt. And as you do so, the box almost fly up in your hand because you lift it up with force, thinking it heavy. And you don't have salt. My friends, either you stock up or you buck up, because you can't get nothing from the neighbor. Neighbor. They had that in America. You could only get that in Trinidad. Neighbor, give me some salt. Neighbor, give me some rice. Neighbor, I want some pigeon peas. Anything you want, you could always ask your neighbor back home. Not in America. We have it good in Sweet Tea and Tea. Now, bye, everybody.